I have to start with superheroes. Why are you so attracted to creating superheroes?
I'm not attracted to it. They pay money for it, so I do it. Actually, you wouldn't know this to listen to me. The thing I most like to write is comedy. So very often I'll go to a movie studio, a distributor, and I'll say, hey, I got an idea for a comedy movie for you. And they say, well, does the character fly, or can he punch his hand through walls? I say, no, a comedy. Yeah, well, does he wear a costume? No, I'm talking about they don't understand. With me, if the guy doesn't have a costume and a superpower, they don't even want to talk to me. In fact, he wouldn't talk to me if not for the super. In fact, he isn't doing much talking now. I shouldn't have to do all the work. You're the interlocutor. Come on. Wait a minute, are you doing it without a mic, or do you have one of those mysterious things pinned to you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sure, I have to hold this here. Some great way to treat a guest. I think I'm a guest, I don't know.
Explain that to me, the Marvel method. You're credited with coming up with this new way of writing comics in the mid-'60s. Tell me about the Marvel method and why you employed it.
You are good. You remember all these questions without even looking at your notes. I wish I could do that. The Marvel method. What happened was, I had to write a lot of books in the early days. I was doing the Fantastic Four and the Hulk and the X-Men and Spiderman and so forth. And I think we were still doing some other dumb books. We still had a few monster things, and I don't know. So anyway, I was writing just about everything, and I couldn't keep up with it. And the artists were freelancers. Now, that means they weren't getting salaries. So if they didn't draw anything, they weren't getting paid because they weren't on salary. I couldn't let a guy like Jack Kirby or Steve Ditko or John Buscema or John Romita or any of them sit around with nothing to do. But if I was writing a script for Kirby, I couldn't be writing Ditko's script at the same time, so he'd have nothing to draw. So these guys were good at making up their own stories if they had something to start with. So I would say to Ditko, look, I haven't got time to write your script, but here's what I think the story should be. We'll get a villain called the Green Goblin, and he'll do this and that, and you come up with some fight scenes, I don't care, and we'll do this and that. I left the tough stuff to him, and he would go ahead and just draw whatever he wanted based on what I told him, and I would finish Kirby's story. By the time I was through with Kirby, Ditko had penciled in his whole story, he'd give it to me, and I would put in dialogue balloons and captions according to what he had drawn, and I would change the emphasis and add things. But basically, I said, this is a great way to do it. So then I had Colan do that, and I had Gil Kane do it. I had all the artists. I would just give them the germ of an idea. They would draw it. I could put in the dialogue later, and that way I was able to write all these books pretty much by myself. And it was great. They did the work, I took the credit, and there is no better way to work it all.